They say silence can be louder than thunder. In North Africa, a rare calm has settled, a fragile stillness before something far greater brews beneath the horizon. The wind has paused. The cities whisper. The world watches, because what comes next may redefine not only the region, but the future of global balance. Before we dive into this unfolding story, make sure to subscribe and turn on the bell for updates you can trust. We bring you world events explained with calm, clarity, and care, so you can stay informed without fear. Now let's gently walk through this quiet week before the coming storm. There's something almost unsettling about the quiet over North Africa this week. From the golden dunes of Libya to the bustling streets of Cairo, life moves, yet not quite as it used to. Markets are open, children play, and fishermen still set sail at dawn. But beneath this ordinary rhythm lies a tension. You can almost feel in the air, like the moment just before a desert wind begins to howl. Analysts are calling it a pause before pressure. Local news stations report fewer public statements from military officials, while diplomatic channels hum quietly behind closed doors. Everyone seems to know something's about to change, but no one's saying what or when. This is not the first time North Africa has stood on the edge of transformation. But this moment feels different. It's quieter, more deliberate, and far more uncertain. To understand this silence, we must look backward, toward history's long shadow. North Africa has always been a crossroad. Empires have risen and fallen on its sands. From the Carthaginians and Romans to the Ottomans and Europeans, every power that set foot here left something behind: ambition, memory, and scars. The so-called desert storm everyone whispers about today isn't just a metaphor. It's the buildup of decades of economic strain, political fatigue, and environmental stress now converging into one critical point. It began quietly with rising food prices. Then came water shortages. Add to that the heat waves pushing deeper into human settlements each year, and you begin to see how the landscape itself seems to be signaling change. Yet, amid all of it, people endure. Farmers still rise with the sun. Teachers still walk to overcrowded classrooms. Mothers still hum lullabies under starlit skies. That quiet resilience is what defines this region. It's not the absence of storms, but the ability to stand through them. While most eyes look to the sand, the real movements are happening behind velvet curtains, in diplomatic rooms where every pause and handshake carries weight. In the past few days, several North African nations have held closed security meetings. Officially, they were about trade and border control. Unofficially, sources hint they discussed something more urgent: alliances, resource protection, and response plans to a possible escalation, political or environmental. Neighboring powers are paying attention. Satellite data shows increased military logistics along key routes near Libya's southern frontier and Egypt's western deserts. It's not war, but it's preparation. And in diplomacy, preparation is the surest sign of anticipation. Yet, amidst all this, international voices, especially from Europe and the Gulf, are advising restraint. Their message is clear: don't let the winds of instability return. But the truth? Winds don't ask permission. They rise on their own time. In the heart of Tunisia, a retired teacher named Layla says, "It feels like the air is waiting." Her voice, recorded for a local broadcast, trembles not from fear but from knowing. We've seen this before, the quiet days before the streets fill. In Libya, a young journalist describes a similar unease. People are calm, but it's a tense calm. Everyone's saving fuel, stocking supplies, waiting for clarity. And in Morocco, local farmers say the skies have been unpredictable: dust storms where there should be rain, and sudden heat waves that scorch the earth without warning. These voices don't speak of politics. They speak of rhythm, how nature and society seem to be in sync, pausing before a shift. And perhaps that's what's most human about it: the ability to feel something coming even when no one can quite name it. Beyond the headlines, one force is reshaping North Africa more than any other: climate. This year, Sahara winds reached farther north, carrying fine sand into Mediterranean skies. Coastal erosion in Tunisia worsened. Drought deepened in Algeria. The land is changing faster than policy can keep up. Experts call it the slow-motion storm. It's not sudden, but it's relentless, grinding down livelihoods, pressuring migration, and tightening resources. And when resources tighten, politics tremble. In villages where wells once ran deep, families now walk miles for water. In cities where food was once affordable, prices shift week by week. These small struggles accumulate until they become the roots of unrest. So when analysts speak of a coming desert storm, it's not just about armies, it's about exhaustion. The exhaustion of a land that has given too much for too long. For now, officials call this a transitional week, but the people living through it feel it differently. There's a pause in news cycles, a slowing of travel. Even social media, usually flooded with opinions, has grown quieter. It's almost as if everyone is holding their breath. The cafes are open, yes, but conversations are hushed. Traders watch the sky, and in border towns, soldiers move with a careful kind of calm, alert, but not alarmed. What makes this week remarkable isn't what's happening, but what isn't. No major announcements. No public warnings. Just a synchronized stillness stretching across thousands of miles of desert and sea. And perhaps in that silence lies the greatest truth. North Africa stands at the edge of something profound. Not necessarily violent, but transformative. What happens after this quiet week will shape more than one nation. If cooperation prevails, North Africa could emerge stronger, united in renewable energy efforts, water-sharing agreements, and shared security frameworks. The region could become a beacon of stability, not just survival. But if mistrust grows, old tensions could resurface, tribal divisions, border disputes, and external interference. And then, the storm won't just be meteorological, it will be political. That's why this silence matters. Because in it, leaders are choosing between dialogue and discord, between rebuilding and repeating history. And for those watching from afar, this is a moment to listen, not to speculate or sensationalize, but to truly hear what the quiet is saying. Still, even in uncertainty, there's grace. The people of North Africa have seen storms before, literal and metaphorical, and they've learned how to rise afterward. From rebuilding after revolutions to restoring homes after floods, the pattern remains the same: pain, patience, and persistence. So as the world watches this quiet week unfold, it's important to remember, silence is not surrender. It's preparation. It's the gathering of strength before motion. And maybe, just maybe, this time the storm won't destroy, it will cleanse, reset, and renew. North Africa stands in a breath between past and future, between silence and wind. Whether this week becomes the calm before chaos or the dawn before healing depends not only on governments but on the people who continue to believe that peace, though fragile, is always worth protecting. Because sometimes, the greatest strength lies not in the roar of the storm, but in the quiet before it.